I contacted Satan several times, and for that purpose I used as Connoly's N, and there's also a sigil in her book that I think, as far as I can remember, she says it can also be used to contact, I think, any spirit or just Satan. I don't know exactly, but I used that specific sigil to contact Satan. Yeah, so, and I called and I used the N also for that purpose. I was facing south, and I lit a red candle. I have some candles here, so I think I lit a red candle and a black one as well. I mean, I've always several candles. I have to buy some new candles, by the way, so yeah, so I lit several candles, like a red one, a blue one, like a red, a black one, and maybe also in certain sessions also a white one. I don't recall at all. I don't keep track of all of that information. I know some people do that, they have a real protocol of steps they undertake in an apostrophes, in a ritual. So for me, it's like a, I don't always call that a ritual. For me, it's like a spirit contact session, or like a contact session. And what was the message that came through relatively quickly in my work with Satan, or the spirit that I think is Satan, or an aspect of Satan, or an expression of that spirit, was it is the emotion within you that pushes you forward. I usually take notes of the messages I receive. In the course of the past 3 years, I have received so many messages from different spirits, and sometimes I don't know the exact origin of the message. Sometimes I don't know exactly what spirits communicate with me in that particular moment. I'm still trying to find that out. Yeah, so but this particular message came through over and over and over again. Yeah, so it's like a how can I explain that? Like a very similar to a like a spirit that is infusing my mind with a specific thought. This is also this may also be a sign of identifying certain spirits. So when you work with a specific spirit, you can, lots of people ask themselves, okay, how can I tell what spirit am I communicating with? And some people think unless they see the spirit or hear the voice of the spirit or something like that, they cannot really know what specific or what that spirit is. And there is far more. There are far more clues that can reveal the identity of the spirit. So if you think about it, think more clearly about the feeling state the spirit leaves in you when you have worked with a specific entity. So what does it evoke in you? What feeling state does it evoke in you? And what actions do you feel inclined to do when you have worked with that particular spirit? What thoughts do you have? What thoughts arise immediately after the contact session? Or what thoughts arise when you during the next day, for example? So, and take notes of these pieces of information, and then you can identify the specific spirit you're working with. I mean, it increases the chances that you can identify the spirit. Information I want to share with you now is a physical representation of the spirit I saw in the middle of the night, approximately a week ago. Last week, it was approximately Monday, I think, Monday, Tuesday, something like that. I had an experience where in the middle of the night, it was between 2 and 4 o'clock in the morning, I was drifting in and out of sleep for, I would say, at least an hour or so. I was lying on my right side, so I was facing south. I'm just mentioning that because this is part of the way I identify the spirit. That may not have to be an identifying sign or a sign that it is a certain spirit that's connected with the direction south, but it may be. Then I saw a boy with whitish, grayish skin, pale, no expressions in the face, basically like a blank stare. Some people may also say it's an aggressive stare. I don't really see that always as an aggressive stare, just because an entity looks at you in a certain way that humans may interpret as an aggressive stare or something like that. So I see it in a very neutral way. So it was not, to me, it was not aggressive in any form. So it was just standing there looking at me. And what I saw immediately was the eyes. So the eyes were red. That boy was, I would say, how tall was he? Difficult to say, because I was lying down and was seeing that. I was seeing that image, like in a state where just came more into normal consciousness, into regained normal consciousness, and drifted back into sleep again. And I was lying on my right side. I saw that image of the boy in my mind's eye, but not only in my mind's eye, because I was also seeing where that boy was standing in my room. So it was more like I would say it was more like an overlay of that mental image, or of that image that came through, and I saw that in my physical reality. So it was basically a physical manifestation of that spirit. And I would say, without being too specific, because I was lying down on my right side and saw that image of the boy, I cannot really tell how tall that boy was, but I would assume like 140, 150, something like that. I don't know exactly, but that's my estimate, like 150 plus minus 10 centimeters. I don't know how many inches that is, like 10 centimeters. So 150, so 150 centimeters approximately, I would say, which is, I don't know, I'm 6 foot. So this is, I think, in centimeters, that would be 183 centimeters, something like that. And that boy was like 150 centimeters in height. Yeah, just looking at me. He was just standing there looking at me. And I'm trying to find out about the origin of that experience, what it means to me, what specific spirit that was. And if you have followed my work here on YouTube, I have mentioned that several times, that spirits tend to reveal their identity when you start working with them. There has always been like at least one experience where the spirit shows up or shows an aspect of itself. So the spirit shows up quite often. If you start working with the spirit, it shows up in a visual form, and quite often also combined with an auditory message or auditory information. There has always been at least one specific scenario where the spirit shows up in a dream, shows up in my room. Basically, I've seen several spirits standing right in my room. I've seen a portal directly here, more or less where I sit right now, opening up, making really strange noises. I've seen lots of crazy stuff basically during the past 3 to 4 years, and this is one of the most I would say in apostrophe, I would say this is one of the most extreme experiences I've had, because that stare of that boy was like penetrating through me. Was like he was staring with his red eyes right through me. And if you have any thoughts what that spirit might be, if it's Satan, my interpretation, it's an aspect of Satan. That's what I think, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm still figuring it out. If you have any idea about that origin or what you think it might be, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Maybe some of you have made similar experiences. So I went to that place where that boy was standing, like a day later in the morning or at lunchtime. I figured out what cardinal direction that was, and was more or less precisely the direction south. So yeah, guys, another of my experience videos. I think people like to hear my experiences here, how I experience the spirit world, how I make contact with the spirit world. I think this may be my direction. I will follow here on YouTube, and let me know what you think. Have a good one. Take care, guys.